Alright, the assembly instructions for the rubber band gun that I've modeled after the Whitney Wolverine. First off, you're going to want to cut all your pieces out of I'm using a 1/8 inch Baltic birch plywood. You could use MDF. I guess you could use, a solid piece of wood, whatever. And one of the first things you're going to end up doing is gluing your multiple pieces together. So I've got a total of 2 guns here, but I'm missing a trigger for one of them, so I'll show you how to assemble it with what I have, because I don't have one that's not assembled right now. So you'll cut out 2 of the center pieces, and then you'll have 2 triggers that will be glued together, and those will end up fitting inside like that. You'll have 1 side piece, which again they're both identical, and on that side you'll have I don't know, I guess it's for the with the barrel, but those will then end up fitting together like that. And then you have your grips that go on this way like that, and then you can glue this on if you want. I never have, because I haven't really felt the need, because the little doodads that I have, they're what are they called? Aluminum screw posts, I guess, or mine are aluminum at least. Those will fit. Let me get the other side on here. So I bought these ones off of eBay from screwpost.com. They are not giving me any money to endorse them, but these are the ones that I found. Most of the time they'll work pretty good. Every now and again, though, you'll have, when they're screwed together, that they won't want to loosen at all. In which case, because they are aluminum and soft, you can take a pair of basically wire cutters and just cut the head off and pull it out and stick a new one in. They were relatively cheap. I think the box here that I got of 100, I think was under $10. But let me go put this together and just match up for the ones that you're going to have that have the writing on them and the writing on them. So, trigger will go inside. You'll want a spring, dependent on what type of springs you have available. I had just bought a variety pack because at the time I was making a lot of rubber band guns and I needed different size springs. You can also just take old pens and just pull the springs out of those. That's what I used to use all the time, and they all worked fine. So then this will go on top. Now you want to make sure when you put the top on that you don't let that spring go flying. So you want to sort of slide it over the top like that. And then you'll feed your screw posts through the holes. One of the things that I always had to be looking at when I was designing my rubber band guns was I had to have 6 layers of plywood so that my 3/4 inch screw posts would work on them, because that was the only size that I had, and I didn't really want to go buying more. I would assume you could probably cut these down, but I've never tried it. And once those little guys are screwed, you don't have to have it crazy tight or anything. But then there's the assembled gun, and let me show you the actual firing mechanism. You'll have the rubber band in each of those notches, and then as you pull the trigger, you push the one out and it gets caught in that next notch. That one will go off the top, and then as it goes back in, that'll get caught on the top, and then you pull the trigger once more and it gets released. So let me show you next step. These are the rubber bands that I will generally use. Once again, they are not paying me. These are from Office Max, I believe, but they are not paying me. No, not wrong. I want the regular length. Longs are for the rifles. So, grab some of these. And to load the gun, you want to go from the notch in the front to the bottom one first. Generally what I will do is, let's make sure you can actually see this here. spread it out with your finger so you can go on, and then you clear all of that other stuff on the side and then drop it off like that. And then let's make sure it shoots right. And it's not wanting to shoot. So you will more than likely run into this issue as well. What you want to do, and I don't have my other file here right now, I just have a round one. What you want to do is sort of file really lightly at a time the corners down just a bit, because what ends up happening is, dependent on how stiff or how thick, I guess, the wood is, or how much glue is in there, the teeth don't necessarily all cut the same. So I'll have some guns where when I cut them out, they'll work real nice. Oh, there went one. And then other times it'll just not, it won't want to work at all. So what you end up having to do is take not a round file, but a triangular type file, and basically just round off those notches a little bit, so that when you fire it, let's get it over here, so that when you fire it, the rubber band can jump off. So I'm going to work on that a bit, or I'll try it in the other gun as well and see. Yep, it's alright. I'm going to go stick the trigger in the other gun and see how that one works, because that was working yesterday. Alright, so I've got this one put back together. I've got it in the other body now. And once again, from the top to the bottom set of teeth, and from the front to the top set of teeth. And this one was working fine yesterday, so let's, better than the other one was. Again, you have to play with it a while. What you could even do, and what I've done occasionally when the laser cutter's acting up or I've got bad wood, is I will actually go and move the teeth back a little bit when I'm in Corel or Inkscape or whatever. I'll take those nodes and I'll move them over a little bit. This way, once it's actually all cut, I have more material that I can sand away to get some nice teeth on that. So let me load it up once more. So they're in the notches. It gets caught, and of course that time it doesn't want to work properly. Again, you gotta play with it quite a bit to get those teeth just right. Alright, let's try this again. So you release the first one, second one gets caught, gets released into the first set, and then that one fires off. So that is the Whitney Wolverine rubber band gun, made out of plywood, an 1/8 inch plywood or MFD, whatever. And then you need one spring for the trigger, and then 2 bolts of some sort, or screw posts or whatever, to actually keep it all together. You could glue the entire thing together, however, then if the teeth break on you or something like that and you need to replace the trigger, you can't get to it. So I tend to just do the 2 posts. The front will wiggle just a bit, but I've never really had an issue with that. And there it is. So you can download it, make sure that you or you make one, make sure you let me know, show me how it turned out, show me some pictures. And for those of you who are just subscribed to my channel and are on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe, because I never have anyone do that to any of my videos. So I shall catch you guys all later, and keep making, and I'll see you next week.